Hey, what's happening, guys? We're gonna do some day baseball. We're gonna do this one quick. We got a lot of sports going right, so we're gonna do members only, public, for everybody today. So we'll run through this one. It's gonna be a short and quick slate. Don't forget to get your contest in on overlay over there, guys. Lots of almost close jackpot wins. Shout out to longtime customer Daniel Allen for going 11-0-1 yesterday, and talk about a swift kick in the nuts to have Hassan Whiteside ball off the bench to tie Markel Fultz at the last minute. That hurts. It let me sleep easier because I had Brooke Lopez have me at 11-1 until that happened. So knowing that Brooke Lopez cost me thousands of dollars yesterday, and maybe the Bucks of a basketball game was hard to stomach, but once Whiteside ties Fultz, then I don't feel so bad. Except I do feel bad for my man Daniel.
Hey, it's one of those tough beats. We've all been there, no doubt about it. That one sucks. Whiteside was awesome last night, but you never expected it. On the flip side of that, I want to call out, not a customer or anything, probably the best game I've seen pitched all year last night, Kenta Maeda. He was amazing. I don't know how much of that game you saw. Took a no-hitter into the ninth inning, struck out 11. I mean, it's the best start I've seen all year by a good amount.
All right, guys. Well, we're here to talk day baseball. Just going through the pitching right away, I guess my gut instinct is I want the St. Louis versus Chicago matchup right there.
Well, I think you definitely want Flaherty, right? Like 100%.
Oh, yeah, lock.
So I want Mills too, but it's not like on the same level as Flaherty. Do you agree?
Yes, only because I don't like the other options down here very much. I guess my next option is to go with Jake Arrieta, which I'm not excited about that in the slightest.
Nah, I mean, I think I'd rather use a couple Boston bats than Arrieta and take my chances on Mills, personally.
Yeah, that's kind of where I lied. I hadn't looked over the slate as much. I just wanted to join you on the video. I know you've been looking at this one a lot longer than I have. But my gut instinct right away was to use the pitchers from St. Louis, Chicago, because quite frankly, I ain't trying to pick pitchers against Baltimore.
Nah, and also a couple things. We've seen weather in Philly or in Chicago, play to pitchers recently, so I expect that to be similar today.
It is similar today. The wind's blowing in a little bit, and it's not very warm in the Midwest today. Like, it's not terrible. Don't get me wrong. It's not 40 degrees or anything like that, but it's not hot.
No, it was getting chilly last night. I forgot to mention that. It's so funny how you just brought that up. It was getting legit chilly here last night. And then the other thing you talked about, you don't want to pick on the Orioles. Well, I mean, I got a lot of interest in Philly bats here against this Kyle Hart.
Yeah, obviously. I think we got a couple of other bats that we can go right back to that we brought up yesterday. And I have zero issue going right back to all three outfielders that we mentioned yesterday. Santander, who was awesome for us last night. Double bombs, got a double later, 35 points. This guy is just in fuego. He's not just getting hits, guys. He's hitting everything hard all over the field.
Yeah, man. I'm happy I wrote all three of those guys as hard recommends last night. They were all really good. Santander is just way too cheap, man. I definitely had all three of those guys like brought up. I had the guys I picked out last night for the public video if I had made it, and those three were on it, no doubt about it.
And so the guys that we're referring to are Verdugo, Santander, and Grichuk. And quite frankly, I have interest in using all three of them again.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt about that. I mean, all three of them are way too cheap, to be quite honest.
Looking at the offenses from this Toronto and Baltimore game, I think catcher is a great spot to just punt that position today for better offense somewhere else.
I will say, Chance Sisco led off for Baltimore last night, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him right back there. I don't think he's like a must, but anytime, I used that 1-2 of Sisco Santander last night, and it was very good.
Chance Sisco, Chance the Rapper, you name it. Whoever's there, let's take him.
I mean, how often do you get a catcher hitting leadoff? And it's not like he's crazy expensive. So if I'm stacking Baltimore, I want exposure there. If he's in the lineup, of course.
Of course. Anybody else from this game really calling your name? I know you're a huge Chris Davis fan. You think he's the best hitter in baseball, right?
Right. Moving on. This is one where I
can... Whoa. Which Chris Davis is worse right now?
Honestly, C. Chris Davis is worse. But K. Chris Davis looks a lot like those other guys we've been talking about that look too old.
Yeah, and that happened to him in a hurry. Look, my boy Biggio, who I picked up off the waiver wire in one of my leagues, he's playing much better. Difficult to get to him today in a lefty-lefty matchup because he's very, very expensive.
Yeah, I mean, Toronto doesn't necessarily have pieces I love as one-offs, but I could definitely get going there as a stack. I mean, Shaw hit third last night against LeBlanc, and then as soon as they brought in a righty, he homered. So he'll probably be back in the middle of that lineup. So I don't mind, the stack there. But I actually think Baltimore's offense is better than Toronto's.
Baltimore, well, especially with Toronto missing Bo Bichette right now. He's one of the catalysts.
He's their best hitter.
Yeah, he's been very good. He's been very good to start the year, right? Well, Iglesias is also out for Baltimore, and he's been having a nice season to start. So we'll have to take a look at their lineup today and put that up, who they put out there. I don't mind piece of Gurriel or something like that.
He hit the ball hard twice yesterday. Now, it was his first two at-bats, but, he had been struggling, hit the ball hard twice.
I guess the main pieces I want from this game are Santander and Grichuk. And not that saying there's not other guys, but I want to go right back to the well with the two hottest hitters in baseball, or two of the hottest hitters in baseball.
For sure.
Again, and of course you get the warm and fuzzies from them because they did it so well yesterday.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
All right, so I think we're basically ignoring offense as much as we can in St. Louis, Chicago.
We are. The only thing I'll say is, it's not like yesterday, but you look at a slate like yesterday, the early slate, where Dylan Bundy was supreme chalk, and Dylan Bundy got hit a little bit. So whenever you have these slates where I think the ownership is so condensed, yeah, in tournaments I can give them board, especially with a one-off or two like we talked about yesterday. But no, I mean, the problem for me is I really like Philly today.
Yeah, and I can't fade Flaherty on this slate. He's just so much better than all the other pitchers.
This is true.
So, there's everything to like about Philly. McCutchen, after a terrible start to the season, is playing significantly better baseball over the past week.
Yeah, he looks good. Alec Boehm at 3K for 3,100. I mean, that just makes it so easy.
I know you talked him up last night. He had a solid day with 12 points, couple of hits, couple of walks.
Yeah, he's good. So, right in the middle of that lineup, 3K. The one thing I'll say about Philly, though, they will pinch hit, so beware.
Yeah, Hoskins had his first home run of the year yesterday.
Yeah, I'm interested in going right back there, of course, in a Philly stack. I mean, Bryce Harper stays red hot.
The thing about Rhys Hoskins is he hasn't been great to start the year, but it's always nice when you can get 4 points out of a guy because he walks and scores a run. This guy at least gets on base every single day.
For sure, but he is expensive now.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm prioritizing him, but if you have the money.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Rock and roll. Otherwise, you got Mitch Moreland, who's having a nice season. A few less dollars.
I definitely can get on board with Boston, for sure. We talked about Arrieta a lot this year.
More name than anything else at this point of his career.
Much more.
Man, Devers is just not having a great start to the year, is he?
No, he's not.
Nice day yesterday.
Yeah, and so he's just really cheap for who he is, man. And this is a great spot for him. If I'm not using, I think I'm going to use one of the third basemen from this game.
I get that. Yeah, I think I'd probably rather use Boehm for the cap space, which is needed today.
For sure. I mean, it's definitely needed if you stack Philly to use Boehm. But if you don't stack Philly, Boston's more affordable all throughout. You know what I mean?
Sure, but the one off of Boehm, you just don't have a lot of other good players at 3,100 that can really help you build your lineup.
True.
So that's more of anything what it is. And I would love to play Bryce Harper today. He has been excellent, but I got a bunch of other outfielders I like, and they're all substantially less money than Bryce Harper. If I could get here, I would love it. And I'm not even a Bryce Harper fan, as most of you guys know. He's having a great season. I just don't know how I can swing this into my lineup, knowing I want Santander, Grichuk, and Verdugo as premier cap space.
Well, in a cash game, I think this is your outfield right here. And in tournaments, you stack, you can use whoever you want.
Yeah, it's just tough for me to get to a 5,700 guy today.
It can be done.
Yeah, it can be, but if I take out Verdugo and put him in, or even I just don't want to take Santander out.
I get that.
And if I go from Grichuk to Bryce Harper, I guess I really need a cheap catcher then.
Yeah, for sure. But if Bryce Harper hits 2 home runs, you probably need him.
Sure. I'd say I need anybody who hits 2 home runs. So if you could let me know who those guys are going to be, I would sincerely appreciate it.
Really good. So
I'm just asking if you can give me all the guys that hit 2 home runs today, Matt. I'm going to win some money.
I'm just saying, there's a case to be made for playing him in tournaments. That's all.
Yeah, for sure. Roman Quinn, you think he makes the lineup today against the lefty?
I hope not, because it sucks.
Okay. Anybody else on the cheap you think might be in there?
Let me check something real quick, and I will let you know. Yeah, Arau. Two guys, actually. Jonathan Arise, second baseman. He's been in the lineup like consistently. He's 23. And
Yeah. This guy won't light your world on fire, but this really helps. Like if you want Bryce Harper, you're going to need a guy like this.
yeah, exactly. And then also Jason Hayward.
2,600, dirt cheap. There is one guy, and Hayward's swinging the bat pretty well right now, actually. Rizzo has great numbers off of Jack Flaherty. So I'm assuming everybody wants Flaherty on their roster today. That's one spot you could be different. You could one off Rizzo.
That's exactly what I was saying. Exactly. I'm glad you mentioned that.
So, I mean, it's just something that's out there. Like yesterday, we brought it up a couple different occasions.
Longoria and Story.
Yeah. Longoria was solid.
Yeah, he was solid. I mean, Sam Fran's what you needed. So,
although Bundy was terrible, we were joking around that, like, you know, that was kind of what the thing. One of the points that we talked about Dylan Bundy yesterday was he's going to be overwhelming chalk. You should probably play him. He's been excellent. But I think we know who Dylan Bundy is, and it's not a sure thing.
And that Jack Flaherty's a different guy.
Yes, Jack Flaherty's really good.
I have no interest in stacking Chicago here.
I saw that Flaherty actually leads baseball in the lowest hard hit percentage. And I'm like, well, that's cool. He had one start. I think I need a little bigger sample size, but I do love this guy. He's fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
I
think he's like on the Walker Buehler like category. I'm definitely not putting him on like the Max Scherzer yet.
No, I think you have a Scherzer, Cole, DeGrom. Kind of is like your tier one. And then I think your next tier, he's down there with Walker Buehler and Verlander, when healthy, I guess could be up on that tier one as well.
And then we'll move on. Flaherty or Bieber?
Flaherty in real life, Bieber for DFS.
I'm with you. They're both good though.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's semantics right there at that point.
They're on the same level, in my opinion. And then, yeah, I mean, this slate, it's not the best one, to be quite honest. It is what it is, though. I mean, we're all working with the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. You know who our outfielders are for the most part, than like McCutchen or Bryce Harper from Philly. What do you know about Kyle Hart outside of the fact that he was god-awful in his one appearance this year?
I mean, he's supposed to be decent, but he's not like a guy that's supposed to be, you know, a really good starter in the big leagues. They are just so shallow right now in their rotation. They're calling up basically anyone who can throw it over the plate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think Pedro's going to pitch.
Yeah. I mean, even last night, you saw Godley pitch well for them last night. Still gave up 13 runs.
Yeah, it's a bad season for Boston. That pitching staff, it's amazing. You take a number one guy out like Chris Sale, and then just everybody moves down. They weren't that good to begin with below him. It's just a bad pitching staff, top to bottom.
So, yes, but then also like feel like they're also feeling the losses of David Price and Erod. Like I never thought that Erod would be missed so much from a rotation, but they missed that guy because he eats innings.
David Price, yes. No Rick
Rick Porcello, another guy who's not very good, but Porcello is a guy that eats innings.
Exactly. It's a rough year for the Boston pitching staff, so you can pick on them almost every single day.
Yeah, exactly. Philly got going late last night. They're definitely in the best spot on paper here.
Agreed. Late for that starting lineup and play as much of it as you can.
Yep. Thanks, guys.